Remember our previous lesson about making sure elements appear in the DOM in a way that makes sense for the tab order? Well, what do you do when you have content which isn't on screen yet, but still needs to be in the DOM? A good example of this is a responsive drawer panel. Now, this is a really common UI pattern, and it can present an interesting challenge for accessibility. To illustrate this, here is the desktop version of that same site, and I want you to notice what happens as I press the tab key. Focus will start off up here in the corner. It'll then move to this input, this button, and then it's just going to disappear. Now, I'm still pressing the tab key. In fact, I pressed it a few times now, but we're not seeing anything. Oh, wait, our focus just appeared right down here. So what happened there? Why did it disappear? Well, you might see where I'm going with this. That whole time that focus was off screen, it was actually hiding inside of this drawer panel, going through and focusing all of these individual links. Well, this isn't really a great situation to be in. And when you're building an application, you might occasionally find that as you're tabbing around, focus seems to suddenly just disappear. To figure out what's going on, you may need to do a bit of detective work. If you're tabbing around and you notice focus suddenly disappears, you can go into your console and log the document active element. So I'll do that right now. I'll start by focusing my hamburger menu again. I'll move through to the input button. And once focus disappears, I'll go down to my console and log document active element. Active element gives you a reference to the currently focused item, which in this case looks like some kind of fancy button. So we can go and look for our fancy button here in our source code and make sure that it's not focusable. But another option to do our detective work is to use the Chrome Accessibility DevTools extension. The DevTools extension adds a number of useful features, including an inspector, which will show you the accessibility properties of an element, as well as a set of accessibility audits. You can find these by opening the DevTools and going to the Audits section, located right here. Here I've unchecked everything except for the accessibility audit itself, and I'm going to run it against the present state of my page. When I do this, you'll see that it produces a number of errors, including items that are focusable but either invisible or obscured by another element. And looking at that list, we can see our fancy button and all of the other anchor tags inside of that off-screen menu. To fix the drawer menu, one option would be to set it to either display none or visibility hidden using CSS whenever it's off-screen. This will prevent focus from being able to move into that element and focusing any of the child links inside of it. And then when the element comes back on screen, or just before it's about to animate on screen, we can set it back to display block or set the visibility back to visible. Now, in the next section, we'll have you do some sleuthing of your own using these tools to find some off-screen content and then to fix it.